Being set apart, God's special treasure, for his own possession, cherished and distinct from all others. To be exclusive, unique, dedicated, chosen, peculiar, consecrated. Jesus says in Matthew 7, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few will find it." In Leviticus 20, it says, "You are to be holy to me because I, the Lord, am holy, and I have set you apart from the nations to be my own." Psalm 4, "Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself." In Jeremiah 1, the word of the Lord came to me saying, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." "Lord," I said, "I don't know how to speak. I am too young." But the Lord said to me, "Do not say I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid, for I am with you and I will rescue you, declares the Lord." That was Jeremiah speaking. For me, the only thing that I would change is that instead of saying that I am too young, I'd probably say, "Lord, I am too old," and I've said that. But when God has a plan for your life and he sets you apart, you can try to run from it. You're not going to get very far. I've always known that I was different. I never fit in with most crowds. I always felt like I was trying too hard to be liked, and for years I forced myself to fit in. I placed above his will for my life the things of the world. I wanted the applause of man. I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be cool. I had spent so many years of my life suffering from the disease to please. But deep down inside, buried underneath all that mess that I knew I created in my life, I was set apart. I just had to decide and make a decision, make a choice to walk in what God wanted me to do. It took me a long time and multiple storms before I got here. But God is so merciful. He will allow storms to come in your life to humble you, to redirect you, to guide you unto what it is that he's called you to do. In the story of Jonah and the whale, if you've never read that, it's a really good story. You should. God tells the prophet Jonah to go to the city of Nineveh and tell them to change their evil ways. But Jonah runs away. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to obey God. He didn't want to go to Nineveh. So he runs and boards a ship going in the opposite direction of where the Lord was telling him to go. So God sends a huge storm, and the sailors that were on the boat with him realized that Jonah was actually the problem. So they threw his behind overboard to save the ship. And what happens to Jonah? Jonah gets swallowed up by a big whale. Inside this whale for 3 days, Jonah prays to God. He admits his mistakes, he repents, he asks for forgiveness, and God, being so merciful and kind, has the whale spit Jonah out of his mouth and onto the dry land. Now Jonah learned a lesson, and Jonah then goes to Nineveh and tells them God's warning, which is what he should have done in the first place. So see, no matter how much you try to run away from what God wants you to do, no matter how far you run, no matter how long you run, you can go to ship, you can go to wherever you go, boat, plane, ship, land, whatever. God will come for you. You cannot outrun him. One thing I will say is that I was not prepared as I thought I was for what it feels like to be set apart, to surrender to Christ, to let go of everything that he hates. At least do your best. and to love what he loves, to die to my flesh every single day, multiple times a day, to withstand the ridicule that comes along with choosing his way, the narrow way. It is not for the weak. But the Bible did warn me. In John 15, it says, if you belonged to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Matthew 10:22. You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. I have lost friends, and when I say lost, they still speak to me, but things are different. Family's weird. People are just weird in general, but it's okay. Like, I knew that this would happen. And maybe that's why we run away from our calling, because we don't want to disappoint the world. Like, we want to stay acceptable to everyone, right? But what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but to lose their soul? Nah, I'm good. So the good news is that in 1 Peter 4, it says, if you are insulted because of the name of Christ, you are blessed, for the Spirit of glory and God rests on you. Proverbs 18 says, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. So, like I said before, this is not for the weak. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I will admit that I get lonely sometimes, as far as, you look for tangible friendships. And I probably have like one or two people, 2.5, that I can actually sit down and talk to them about the things of the Lord, because they're on the same kind of walk that I'm on. But it's okay. Because if a handful of people were to listen to anything I had to say and it drew them closer to Christ, that's a blessing, and I'm doing what he wants me to do. So that is the cost of being set apart. But I will choose Christ every day. Nothing in this world could even come close to the intimacy that I have now with Jesus. So I will say it every day. Give me Jesus and you can keep this world. His peace, his friendship, his love, his direction, him being so accessible to me, speaking to me feeling his presence. There's nothing like it. I am beyond in love with him, and I pray that others get to have that kind of an encounter with him, where they truly encounter what it's like to have a privilege to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Yeah, and that's what I had for y'all today. So, y'all be blessed.